Okay, you're getting ready to hear from Independent National Sales Director, Summer Fortenberry. She was introduced to the Mary Kay products and Mary Kay opportunity by a friend while she was busy going to school and working full-time as a newlywed. She quickly fell in love with the changes she saw in her complexion and started her Mary Kay business in April of 2001 to make a little extra cash. She's made 9 appearances in the unit circles, including 2 appearances in the prestigious $500,000 Circle of Achievement, and qualified for 4 top sales director trips. Summer is a 4-time double star achiever, a triple star achiever, and she's been in the top 10 of her seminar twice. Debuting as a national sales director out of the Mary Kay national area in 2012, her highest commission check is over, hold on, this is not correct. I know the real number, that's not the real number. It's over $35,000. And she's a Mary Kay multimillionaire with over $2 million in commissions. She has achieved Gold Circle 7 times, her highest in the $150,000 category, and has achieved Diamond Circle twice. Her mother-in-law is Elite Executive National Sales Director Emeritus Pat Fortenberry, and Summer and Senior National Sales Director Pamela Fortenberry Slade are the second NSD sister-in-law teams in the U.S. She says, no matter what obstacle you're facing, you have to push through. My Mary Kay business has been a blessing, not only financially, but most importantly, through the amazing love and care that I've received through the hard times. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Independent National Sales Director, Summer Fortenberry.
Just like this, there's a fire in your eyes I can't resist. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember this. I can taste it forever on your lips. There's a lifetime living inside that kiss. Baby, we're gonna wanna remember.
Has it been an amazing night or what? And are you excited I'm out here or excited that I'm last? I know you've been sitting for a while, right? Oh my heavens, are you excited to be back together or what? There is nothing like it. I know I'm so overjoyed tonight and grateful to be here with all of you and with our amazing Vice President, Allison Sellers, Senior National Sales Director, soon to be Inner Circle, Dawn Dunn, new Senior, soon to be Inner Circle National Sales Director, Lene Tate, and the amazing Senior National Sales Director, Kristen Myers. I personally feel like one of the most blessed women in the world to be able to serve at the Charlotte Career Conference with all of them and to be here with all of you. Wow, the journey of the last 2 years. Well, they have been challenging years, haven't they? I feel dizzy even beginning to think about all that has transpired. What about you? But one thing I know tonight is that I will never ever take our time together for granted. How many of you are like I am tonight and your heart is just spilling over with gratitude? It was 2 years ago when I went to my beginning of March directors meeting on a Friday morning with my amazing world-class leaders. There was talk of a 2-week quarantine circulating. We even discussed it at our meeting that day. But by the next Friday, as the ACC tournament was canceled, I knew this was really happening. But I was still in shock. I remember falling to my knees beside my bed and crying out to the Lord, Lord, help me. I don't know how to lead my people through this. I don't know how to lead my family through this. I know your plans are better than mine. Please heal me of my unbelief. I don't know how, but I know you will carry us through, and he has. Anyone else have a similar conversation with God? Shortly after that, my fight began to kick in. What can we do? How can we do parties virtually? What do I need to figure out to equip my people for success in this season? Nationals collaborated, directors collaborated, and scripts and outlines for the first Zoom facials and online parties were emerging from every corner. It was so inspiring. One of my directors, Tammy Canoni, who, by the way, ranked in the top 20 of the Sapphire Seminar last year in the Director's Court of Sales was already holding successful online parties. I interviewed her immediately. I wanted to know everything she knew. We talked for a while, and then I said, Tammy, I need you to do a Zoom via Facebook Live tonight, a technology I didn't even know existed 2 weeks earlier, with me to help teach this to the area. Thankfully, she said yes. Shortly after that training, the amazing Adrienne Hollifield and I hosted our first huge online selling and guest event for our area, and the incredible Mary Ruth Love and her unit had over 30 guests on, and we had huge results. And all of us had hope. Our confidence was growing. We could do hard things. We could make this work. Around the same time, the chatter was building about the possibilities of our manufacturing and distribution facilities being shut down. Anyone remember that moment? That was probably the toughest moment. One conversation in my head sounded like, if the plant shut down and we can't get products, how long can we stay afloat? And at the same time, the Holy Spirit was whispering, I've called you to this. I will bring you through it, Summer. Yes, Lord, I hear you. Heal me of my unbelief. At the time, I didn't know that our brilliant corporate staff was working around the clock to get everything in place for us to make hand sanitizers. But then the news came that we were deemed an essential company because our company was now making hand sanitizers for the hospital systems, first responders, etc. I felt like the Red Sea had been parted for us. I knew as long as Mary Kay could keep getting us products, we could figure out the rest. And we did. You did, friends. You did. We all had to embrace becoming a beginner again. I learned all the technological stuff I had resisted for so long. Anybody else? We embraced Zoom, Facebook Lives, Visily, OneStream, Post My Party, StreamYard, Zoom parties with products, without products, Shake Up Your Makeup Bag, Mary Kay Bingo Night, The Price is Right, marketing events, whatever it took. We had a whatever it takes mentality. I will stay up late, get up early until I know how to make this work. In addition to all the new things to learn, the most difficult task for us, and I know for many of you, was helping my 3 children navigate through this time. We all know the 2 weeks to slow the spread turned into much longer. My baby girl, Allie Kate's preschool closed that spring of 2020. Joshua, my middle son, wouldn't finish his 5th grade year with his friends. And my Noah, who's here tonight, was a junior in high school, and his school, and most importantly, his track season, were canceled. They are all very active and enjoy their social time, so they were devastated to be stuck at home with mom and dad, at least initially. But then the days passed, and they began to put down their disappointment and their electronics and to go out and play. And they played together. It was a miracle. I was in shock and inspired to see them making the best of the situation. They jumped on the trampoline, they had water gun fights, and they played cards. Noah even taught tiny little Allie Kate how to shoot a basketball. Joshua's creativity emerged. One day he sent my husband Craig to the grocery store with a list of items to get. I wasn't so sure about this. For years I have found test tubes of all kinds of stuff he's tried to mix together in the bathroom, warning him that he might blow our house up or burn it down if he mixes the wrong things together. But in spite of my anxiety over what he was creating this time, in a few days, he had built a foam board airplane without any help from anyone. His airplane designs evolved into more complex ones throughout the pandemic, and the last creation even had an engine in it. Allie Kate's preschool graduation took place in a parking lot in our car. And hey, if you're gonna have to graduate from preschool out of your car, at least she had a pink Escalade with a huge sunroof to celebrate her moment. Noah was blessed to be part of a 3-time state championship cross-country team in high school. The team was devastated the track season was canceled. However, they began running on their own every morning because they had a huge goal to win the cross-country state championship in the fall of his senior year. That would make his team the first team in the state of North Carolina to ever win 4 state cross-country championships. in a row. There was actually a hashtag created by some of the haters around the state, hashtag Stop the 4P. They had labels on their shoes and shirts. It was interesting. That only fueled the boys. As the summer passed, we learned our kids would be in school virtually in the fall. Noah would be a senior, Joshua beginning middle school, and Allie Kate in kindergarten. Craig and I had no idea how much of a struggle this was going to be. But thank God we had each other in our Mary Kay business. If I had had any other job on the planet, how could I have even navigated all of it successfully? I was so reminded of how thankful and grateful I was for saying yes to this amazing Mary Kay opportunity so many years ago. Over the summer of 2020, Craig and I decided to close our studio in nearby Denver and to add on a studio to our home so that I could be home more and help out with whatever the kids needed. As the fall came and virtual schooling ensued, it proved to be even more challenging than we imagined. But we always said and remembered, we get to do this. We don't have to. Because of Mary Kay, we get to. We know in this season of life, our children are our number one calling. We get a second chance at anything in life except raising our children. And we are not raising them to survive the world, but to change it. We worked hard every day to count our blessings, and thankfully, Allie Kate was sent back to school in person in October, Joshua later that same year, and Noah finished out his senior year at home. Noah's cross-country season was postponed until the winter. The team continued to practice on their own every single day, not even knowing if they would get the opportunity to run that year. Through the grueling heat of the summer they ran and the dead cold of winter. There were so many days, even as their limited season finally began, that the speculation was so heavy that the North Carolina Athletic Association would stop all sports. But the boys' coach believed, and so did the team. Wow, I was so inspired by their absolute faith and commitment to their dream and goal. And on January 22nd of 2021, the North Lincoln High School boys became the first team to win the state championship 4 years in a row. They didn't just do that. They went on later that year to win the track state championship as well. It has been said that adversity causes some men to break, while it causes others to break records. I am grateful that because I chose Mary Kay almost 22 years ago, I've been surrounded by record breakers during this crazy time. I've been so inspired by my sales directors and by all of you who have risen to the occasion and decided to be willing to completely learn an entirely new way to work. And not only have you done that, you've navigated your families through all of the chaos. In fact, if you are in this room tonight and you are already in Mary Kay when the pandemic began, I want you to stand. The rest of you who are new, I want you to give these ladies a huge round of applause. They are our Mary Kay pandemic champions. I want you to look me in the eyes and hear me when I say tonight, I only get to stand on this stage because you didn't give up. We only get to be back here together because of you. Every single one of you matter. You were born for such a time as this, as Esther 4:14 says. When others quit, you dug your heels in and said, my dream is worth fighting for. My family is worth fighting for. And my company is worth fighting for. I want to thank you for staying the course. There are so many more dreams that will be realized because of you, my friends. This pandemic has taken much from us. How many of you lost someone you loved? I have. I lost one of my cousins, as well as several consultants in our area. One of my consultants, Veronica, was only 38 years old. She has been a consultant of mine long before I was ever national. Weddings were canceled, funerals were canceled, graduations were canceled. Some of you lost someone and didn't even get to say goodbye. And just as the pandemic is ending now, Ukraine and Russia are at war. There is so much heavy stuff going on. Some days it is too much to even think about. I inevitably contracted COVID in October of last year. In spite of taking all the treatments, it liked me so well it decided to stay with me. And I have had the joy of being in the 30% of Americans who have now what is known as long COVID. The life-altering fatigue, chronic sinus issues, and sore throat definitely have made it challenging to continue to daily run after my dreams. But I've kept on anyway, thinking about my family, my leaders, my area, and all of you. I am so grateful that the Lord has given me a burning desire and dream to put the record-breaking faith area in the inner circle. But my biggest dream is to help change women's lives, one woman at a time. My big dream gives me the push to fight through one day at a time, regardless of the tough circumstances. I've chosen gratitude that because of Mary Kay, I can work from home and still provide for my family, even though I have been sick. Y'all, our God is so good. And thankfully, just a few weeks ago, I finally began to feel better. We have all suffered in some way. We have sacrificed and we have grieved. But I want to say out loud tonight from Genesis 50:20, enemy, although you intended to harm me, to harm us, our God intended it for good, and He is using it for good. As Romans 8:28 says, I am standing in victory tonight, and so are you, because you are here. I will not back down from my calling. I cannot solve all the world's problems. I do not have all the answers, but I know the one who does. My mentor, National Sales Director Carol Robertson, taught me a long time ago, when life gets tough, get tougher, and focus on the things you can control. I cannot control, nor do I want to, the whole world and all its issues. But I can teach you how to run an ultra-successful Mary Kay business, as Linda Tupin so beautifully said just a few days ago on Facebook. I heard the statistic on the news a few weeks ago. 56% of American families have $1,000 or less in their emergency funds. That translates to over half of all American families being one unplanned crisis away from a financial crisis. One AC unit going out, one unexpected medical bill or expense. That means over half the women you are passing at the grocery store or living life beside need extra money. Are you sharing the opportunity at every turn? This year is also estimated the average household will need an extra $2,000 in order to pay for gasoline due to the rising oil prices. For many Americans, the conversation and the first thought becomes, what will we cut back on in order to survive? Or who is getting a second job? That should not be your first thought. You have a Mary Kay business that has just survived one of the toughest seasons ever. Your first thought should be, who can I pass this opportunity on to help their families continue to thrive and not just survive? If we need an extra $2,000 this year, that means we need an extra $167 per month, which means we need to sell an extra $333. Y'all, that is one skincare class a month. Just one. Or you could sell an extra 14 items. Are you willing to dig in and do a little more? How many other families could be blessed by this opportunity right now? A few days before Christmas 2020, I remember sitting at my desk as an email came through from Mary Kay. I'm paraphrasing, but it basically said, we are sorry we cannot take you on your all-expense paid vacation this year. And so we are going to direct deposit $9,000 into your checking account. $9,000. Who does that? Where else in the world does a company do that for their people in the middle of a pandemic, which most companies are making cuts? Tears of immense gratitude immediately fell down my cheeks as I thought back to the day that I signed that agreement at 19, almost 22 years ago, when I was just signing up to buy my products at half price and didn't really have that $100 to start, but I found it. I thought back to the 600 square foot single-wide trailer I lived in and how the car I drive today is worth more than that tiny home. I thought back to the day when I had no money and therefore having enough money was all I could think about. I thought about the day where I hopped on my first flight to Dallas for seminar as a brand new consultant, scared to death. I remember the day when I earned that first Red Grand Am and I thought I had conquered the world. I thought about the day I picked up my first pink Cadillac just in time to bring my baby boy home from the hospital in. That baby boy is 19 now. I thought back to the day when I developed Lyme disease at 25 and was unable to work my business for 5 straight months, and how my lowest income for 1 month was never less than $5,000 at 25 years old. I thought back to the day when I went through a traumatic divorce and was left with over $60,000 of debt, a 3,600 square foot house payment, and 2 little boys all on my own. God used Mary Kay to help me climb out of that hole. I thought back to the day now senior sales director Leslie Spees walked into my life, and how my brother later met and married her daughter Kristen. I thought back to the day when I went to a Mary Kay event in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, and shook hands with Craig Fortenberry, son of elite executive national sales director Pat Fortenberry, and then married him a year later. I thought back to the day our beautiful, spicy Allie Kate Fortenberry was born. I thought back to the days when I got to see the sunset in Rome, Portugal, Spain, Maui, China, France, and all these amazing treasures and so many more that I could go on all night happened because one woman had the courage to start a dream company for women. And one woman had the courage to share this amazing opportunity with me. Who is waiting on you to ask her? I am so very grateful for my record-breaking area and how they have inspired me over this decade. Can you believe at Seminar we will celebrate our 10th year as an area? During the pandemic, we have soared to new heights with the incredible Leslie Spees, Amy Burris, Chrissy Newsom, Adrian Hollifield, Cassandra Harkey, and Mary Ruth Love, all completing their first $500,000 plus years. And I know our best days are ahead of us. We are climbing into that inner circle. Today, we stand just 95 or 96 days away from the Seminar finish line of June 30th, and I want to ask you, what is your dream? During the last 2 years, the greatest tragedy has been that many of us have fallen into a survivalist mentality. Author Mark Batterson says, "The day we stop dreaming is the day we start dying." May you keep dreaming until the day you die. May your imagination overtake memory. May you die young at a ripe old age. How many of you are ready to let your imagination overtake your memory? Tonight is the night we decide to be dreamers again. I want you to write down your dreams tonight. I want you to imagine all the possibilities and start to visualize all the big things our God has for you. Then I want you to make those dreams into goals by putting a deadline on them. This is our comeback victory season, and we need every single one of you. Who is ready? To book and hold more parties than ever, to share with more women than ever, just like Kristen challenged you to run after your dreams and goals in a way you never have. Who is excited about our huge victory celebration in Dallas? Can you see the stage, the lights, and all the amazing people? What are you going to be crossing that stage for? To pick up a Corda sales ring, a diamond bumblebee, a bar pin, your first car, your pink Cadillac, to debut as a Mary Kay sales director. I want you to visualize your moment every day. Put it up all over your house, and then get up and go to work on it daily. There will never be a seminar like this one again. We will cherish this one in a way we never have. And I know it's going to be treasured by you as we celebrate you and your huge victory. I cannot wait to see all of you in Dallas. God bless you all.